remember like a lot of the like what coaches would tell guys at that age was like, hey, you need to do this so you can be ready for high school. Right. Or like, you're not gonna be ready for high school. You're not gonna survive in high school. But when I got there, it was already kind of ingrained in me, some of those things. So it was like, it was second nature. I was like, I'm used to being in the gap for defense. I'm used to I'm used to all of that stuff. That plus just playing for Mount Royal and then playing for some of the specific coaches there. People already, it was a large high school, at least for me. So Gilman, like I said, there might be 50 people in a grade. Mm-hmm. To Calvert Hall, which was, I think, like 400 people. And when I got to Calvert Hall, like, people already knew who I was. Like, my first day of school, they like knew who I was, and I was like, yeah, this is different.
A little different.
This is different. Like, I know I got recruited here, but still, this is different.
Yeah.
But like I say, it was just a, all of those things coming together that I think prepared me to be able to come in, and like I said, I didn't know, but to start on varsity. Right.
That was amazing. To come in the Catholic League and do that as a freshman is something different.
Yeah, I may be like either the only person or like maybe one of two people to start on varsity all 4 years at Calvert Hall. Mm-hmm. I think the other might be Dwayne Farrell. He played with the national championship team in the 80s. But I'm not certain. But I know it was like, because people would tell me, and I did my research too, I knew that was kind of rare. Right. It was just weird though that like one of my best friends was doing the same thing. I'm right. Like, okay, well, like, is this just a year in the league where it's like, mm-hmm. it's going to be freshman playing or what? But then once I got in the mix, realized I was like, nah, we here for a reason. For sure.
Yeah, for sure. And
because of everything that went into getting to that point.
Absolutely. And it's crazy, and I'm going to get to Eric in a minute, but I played Kyle as a freshman. Like, didn't know Kyle from anything, nothing. We knew Braxton, like, because Braxton was ranked at the time. So I was at Chesapeake, Anne Arundel County, and I just remember they came to our school. I'm a junior at the time. And I remember seeing the roster. Like, I remember looking at it. I remember just like yesterday, it's got a freshman point guard. They got some size. Like, everybody else was pretty big, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, how the hell? Oh, anyway, this freshman point guard. But we get in a game, and he had game. Like, coming down, zipping, doing all the same shit Kyle do all the time. Like yo really got game. So I knew who Eric was from the beginning as a freshman. Mm-hmm. And I used to be like, man, this nigga, man, worry about this. And that was the energy that I had with Eric from the beginning. Like, from the very beginning of me knowing his name, like, yo, I'm not worried about him, yo. They worried about this freshman up there. You know what I mean? He nice and all this. I'm not hearing it. But kind of talk about how your introduction was coming to Mount St. Joe and stepping into a role of making a team as a freshman and going through that process.
Yeah. First off, I mean, I always wanted to go to St. Joe. Like, cause my brother went there, and he actually got kicked out, and I always wanted to, like, make the Atkins name, like, good again back there. Okay. I always had that feeling. I remember going to those games when I was younger. I always used to go to them because it was good basketball. My dad was always big on showing me good basketball. So I used to go to those games a lot. And then when that happened to him, I was like, nah, I'm going to go back there and make my last name good there.
Right.
So going in there, I remember around this time in August, and actually having a workout and playing against, it was everybody. Full from JV players from their freshman year to, the whole team. And I remember having a great workout, though. I remember, like, getting the best of who I thought the next point guard was going to be, Justin McCoy. Mm-hmm. And I think from that day, honestly, it was like, Clashy made a decision, like, that's my guy. That's my point guard. My team always won in pickup. My team always won. Like, I always always tried to win pickup games. I don't know why. I just always, especially pickup games in high school, I thought they were like, especially around that time, they were everything. Like,
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You got the coaches there. Sometimes you got college coaches there. It was like, oh, this is big time. Right? So, but going into it, I didn't think I was going to play varsity. I was ready. Honestly, I was ready to play JV. And I was really ready. But I remember when he, you're playing varsity, you're starting. I thought it was like crazy, to be honest with you. But then, like you said, I look around, I know a few friends doing this.
Yeah, for sure.
I look around, like, again, my Tyler Thornton doing the same thing. Kyle doing the same thing. Like, I'm looking around, a bunch of my friends are doing this in the biggest two, our BCL, WCAC, best leagues in the country.
Tyler was at Gonzaga, right?
Gonzaga.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And we're doing it at the biggest stage in high school. So to me, honestly, I don't think I realized how big it was. Other than like always knowing when I went into different schools, hearing like, oh, he's a freshman, or like whenever when I or here our school, whenever I would score, like he's like, I mean, I guess I'm a freshman,
Right?
You know what I mean? Like I didn't think anything of it,
right?
Yeah, I mean that was my introduction to it. I just thought it was just like regular. This is where I should be, and then you play some guys and you like there's a difference.
And that's the next question. So was it any point, or not? Was it any point? Because I know it was a point that came. But what was the point that gave you the wake up call? Said, okay, this is really varsity. Like,
I got two. So.
Was it a game or practice, or which one was it?
One, it was just like Eric mentioned. I wasn't. It wasn't like they said you're gonna be playing varsity or starting varsity coming in. It was like you probably play JV. You might start coming in. And then, sophomore year, pretty much it'll be your show. And I remember going into summer workouts, and I remember a few things. I remember everybody that was there, I was like, yo, if everybody come, because first of all, Josh was there, Josh Selby. And Isaiah Armwood was also a close friend growing up. You know Isaiah?
Yeah. So Zeke. So were they supposed to go to?
They were there. The first few workouts.
Okay, I got you.
I grew up with them, so I'm like, oh yeah, like Braxton, them. I'm like, yeah, like I could play with them. But then, like after a few days, they wasn't at the workouts no more. But during those workouts, I realized because for the in AAU in middle school a little bit, I was kind of playing a two guard, more of a combo guard, like I said. There, because I was small, I was naturally like, nah, like we bringing you in to be a point guard eventually. And I realized, like, can't nobody handle the ball here like me. Like, I'm just like, I remember like that vividly. Like, okay, all right, now I see why they got me playing kind of with the varsity guys. And then they was like, they brought me in, and it was like kind of a joke. Looking back on it, I don't really know how good of a joke it was, but all of the coaches brought me in at the end of trials, and they was like, yeah, so we gonna cut you. Yeah. And I was like, I was kind of speechless. And it was like, nah, you gonna be playing varsity, and you started.
Oh.
And I was like,
damn.
I was speechless again, kind of. I kind of like just like smiled a little bit, and they was like, yeah, just get ready. And it's kind of something hard to get ready for, because as I mentioned, I'm thinking about the league now. All of the guys that specifically the Mount Royal guys, but even the other guys too. Because at this point, probably from like 7th grade on, I had been paying attention to the whole Catholic League.
Right.
Because I wanted to go to TC so bad.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to be playing Desmond. I'm going to be playing Malcolm. I'm going to be playing, all of these guys at the
because Malcolm and Dante were seniors when he was a freshman. Yeah, because I was a junior. Yeah.
So, like, I might have to go, Sean. I'm like just all these. So that kind of, I was like, it was like cool, and I'm like, yo, like these is guys I kind of looked up to. This is kind of a shock.
Yeah.
But also at that point, I was like, man, I've been playing up my whole life, so
Right.
like, I'm ready.
No, I got you.
So it was kind of like, I don't know, I guess I was playing with house money because I wasn't expecting to be there. So I'm like, I'm here. I get to play against these guys, so I might as well, you know what I'm saying, try to show out.
Yeah, I feel you.
So,
I mean, it didn't look out of place. You looked like you was very comfortable. You know what I'm saying? And I never forget that game because I think that was the first time that I played against a ranked player, like at all in all of basketball. Outside of when we played in the States for AAU, you would come across like the Stars or somebody that would have I didn't even know about rankings and stuff at that point though. But my junior year is when I started paying attention. And Braxton was ranked. So I'm like, man, we about to play against a ranked player. I don't know why. We are sorry. Like, you know what I mean? But
shout out to Braxton too.
Yeah, shout out to Braxton. But yeah, man, that whole experience was crazy to see. Like, and like I know I keep saying it, but as a freshman to start and come in right out the gate and play it is kind of different now. Did you come in and start right out the gate, or did you kind of get the kind of gradual time to get a little bit better as the time went on, and you came in right out the gate playing?
Started right out the jump.
Started right out the gate.
So I just didn't know any different. Now I remember being nervous though. Not from early games. The early games you don't play nobody really. In my head we don't play nobody. Mm-hmm. But like, I remember vividly playing against, and again this is the early game for us, St. John's.
DC,
yeah. So we played against
rocking back then.
We played against Chris Wright.
Yeah.
And that was Chris Wright.
Yeah.
No, it was just Chris Wright at St. John's.
It was just him there at that time?
Yeah, basically.
I thought they had somebody else too.
Listen, Austin Free went to DeMatha.
Yeah, he went to DeMatha.
So that was the same tournament.
Yeah. DeMatha played against Baltimore Catholic in that same thing at Americans.
All right.
It was all on ESPN.
Okay.
And so playing on ESPN my freshman year in high school was like, amazing, crazy. Mm-hmm. But I remember playing against him. And I remember that was like a wake-up call. Like, that's another level. Mm-hmm. I know that right there is another level. Mm-hmm. Like, he had 45 against or something like that. I mean, honestly, it wasn't even that crazy. I think he averaged 40 that year, so he had 5 more points than his average. Right? Not even that crazy, honestly. Like, in hindsight, that is the way I look at it.
I got you.
But I recognize that. I remember the first time, and people would laugh at me. People will say I was scared. I wasn't scared. Before we played TC at home, everyone was going to say that because I looked up to Malcolm.
Right.
I looked up to him a lot. We were going into this game with TC, and I got hurt. I really did get hurt. Mm-hmm. But I got hurt from it was a non-basketball injury. Like, I was like a jokester. Like, I was younger doing the teams. I used to mess with all the older dudes. Like, remember Nuggets? Remember you had to flip somebody's bag inside out with Nugget, older dudes' backpacks, taking their hat, throwing them with, like, just doing stupid stuff. I remember did that to one of the football guys, Ant Armstead to be exact. And I'm running away from him, like, down the stairs at St. Joe. I try to jump. This is right, by the way, we played TC the next day.
Yeah.
Young.
Yes.
And I try to jump, and I don't jump far enough down the steps and twist my ankle at the bottom.
Oh, my Lord.
And, like, I come into the game, like, on crutches. I probably didn't need the crutches. But the trainer gave me the crutches. And ever since then, everybody like, yo, you was scared to play against Malcolm, against that game. You was scared. I was really hurt. I just didn't need the crutches.
Yeah.
I didn't need the crutches at all.
You definitely didn't need to explain why it happened either. You need to keep that under wraps at the time.
Yeah. But man, I remember those battles though. I remember getting a chance to play Malcolm eventually, and man, I remember just saying again, this is another level. Like, I'm sure he felt disrespected by us guarding him, just like when I was a senior. Look, put a freshman on me. I'm like, yo, they tripping. They tripping. But at the time, you know what I mean. Like, you understand that you guys, the other team, and y'all see something for him.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I do understand that, and I'm sure he would say the same thing. But I just remember I remember those two battles specifically that year, being like, all right, that is where I need to get to.
What point did you settle in?
My freshman year,
Yeah.
honestly, I don't remember ever settling in.
You don't remember settling in?
No, not really. I remember being comfortable with not turning the ball over.
Okay.
Because that's what, honestly, in my opinion, that's what our job was, to not turn the ball over, get the ball to. For you, it was Braxton. For me, it was Dino.
Player of the year at the time.
Player of the year, yeah. So I got to get the ball to Dino. Don't turn the ball over. And I think that's where me and Dino developed a lot of trust. Like, out of all the guards on our team, Eric can give me the ball.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can deliver it here. Pressure's not going to bother me. Like, and I think that's a huge thing, especially, to any young guard playing varsity, like, knowing where to get the ball to.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, that was a huge thing for me. So, I didn't feel like pressure of, like, oh, I need to boogie to score. If I scored 4, I was like, I had a great game.
Yeah.
If I had 4 and no turnovers, well,
yeah, good.
It was kind of like it was house money.
No.
It was
Like you said,
house money.
okay.
And like kind of like you said, I talked to Braxton a couple of days ago, and I kind of didn't remember it, but he was like, "Yo, like in one of our first games, he was like throwing it off the glass to me," and I was like, "For real?" He was like, "Yeah, he was doing some shit," and I was like, "Man," but at that time, it was just like kind of so free. You know what I'm saying? Like, they told me kind of like after them trials from day one, like, you got the keys for the next 4 years. So knowing like who we was playing against and knowing I had that freedom and trust from the coaches, it was kind of just like, I could do whatever, but I was just more free.
Right. Okay. No, that's what's up, man. It's dope that y'all got to have that experience, man, and rightfully so, because y'all was deserving of the positions to be able to get out there and play the whole games or whatever amount of minutes and whatever as a freshman. You know what I mean? Y'all put that work in. But now we're gonna get past freshman year, because when both of y'all got past freshman year, y'all just went. It got better and better and better and better.
That's when I ran into you.
And that's when you ran into me. We're gonna get to that.